Hey, what is going on, you guys? It is Mr. No Sleep here from Old School RuneScape, and welcome to a brand new loot video for you all today. So today we bring you loot from 3,000 Deviant Spectres, done by our good friend Wiggy, of course, on his Iron Man account. And not only was this done on an Iron Man account, but it was also done with a Twisted Bow, which is no doubt the best in-slot weapon to kill these Deviant Spectres. Such fast kills per hour, using rune arrows as well as a full Armadillo setup, max range essentially, and of course the Slayer helmet, so no stat would be reduced at all. You can also bring a blowpipe with some rune darts or whatever darts of your choosing to use for special attack, get some HP back in case you take any damage. But overall, if you pray magic here, you can just take no damage at all. And there are multiple safe spots as well, which will be shown throughout the video. Depending on where you stand, these Deviant Spectres will be aggro to you for, some time, so you won't really have to be doing too much. It's very AFK if you keep your prayer up. But over time, you do lose that aggro, and it can become more laid back as well that way. A little history on the Deviant Spectre: was released into the game June 9th, 2016 at a combat level of 169. The attribute for this monster is Undead. The max hit is 21, and of course it is a magic style attack, so most players would be praying magic here. You'd be a little crazy if you didn't, and I'm sure most of us know this, but these are the stronger variants of the Aberrant Spectres, the Aberrant Spectres being the smaller green ones. And these Deviant Spectres, I'd say, are obviously much bigger and a little bit more of an orange to brown color with a haze around them, so very fascinating graphics on these. And of course you can find these in the Catacombs of Kourend, directly southeast of the Fairy Ring DJR. There is a mysterious hole for quick access to this creature, which must be accessed from below before being able to be used. The closest bank to this location is the Shazian Bank, which is southeast of this mysterious hole, but obviously most people, when they bank, just kind of go with the construction cape or the crafting cape, dueling ring, whatever it may be, just the ideal teleports to do whatever banking you want. Of course, you do need a nose peg or a Slayer helmet when you're fighting these things, so even if you're doing them off task, you do need to have a Slayer helmet still equipped. They also will heal 1 hit point each time they attack a player, so it is more efficient to kill a single Deviant Spectre at a time rather than alternate between multiple targets. It's actually something that I just found out by reading the wiki, so that is very fascinating. Now, although they do have a slightly better drop table than Aberrant Spectres and the ability to drop ancient shards as well as dark totems, since they are found in the catacombs, the defense of these monsters is very much higher, making them overall lower profit and actually lower Slayer XP per hour. They are also susceptible to the effects of the Salve Amulet, although it is only recommended to wear one in conjunction with a nose peg, as the Slayer helmet's effects do not stack with that Salve Amulet. Most people do know that Aberrant Spectres as well as Deviant Spectres are known for dropping a lot of herbs and seeds. That's where all the profit comes from, other than of course a few alchables and of course the clue scrolls, which we will get into later on. So if you do have a herb sack or a seed box, it is very much important to bring that, save a lot of inventory space and maximize your efficiency and your profits per hour. Wiggy still does not have a seed box, just as I don't, so really just the herb sack and the gem bag was brought along. Alongside that, the crafting cape and the construction cape for quick rejuvenation and of course banking. And speaking of banking, definitely a lot of banking for this video. Obviously certain items were banked more so than others, but that's really just so that there was a bank tab to show you guys, kind of recap the overall loot from 3,000. The only time that Wiggy would ever bank would be when the inventory would be full, obviously, and of course the one other way, which would be whenever a clue scroll was dropped. The drop rate for a hard clue at these specs is 1 in 128, and obviously every single hard clue scroll was completed through this video, and that really does add up. That's a lot of time spent just doing hard clues, especially on an Iron Man account, although most teleports are unlocked. But these hard clues really are important with these monsters, especially in that loot from Mutated Bloodveld video. Obviously there's not such a big drop table on that monster, so the popularity of it is very, very low, but when you add in a hard clue scroll drop, it really is a game changer. So it's always nice to do these clue scrolls during the Slayer tasks that are known to not make you that much. However, I will say, these Deviant Spectres take away the hard clue scroll from them, and they still still have some pretty decent drops. You know, the Lava Battle Staff and the Rune Chain Body are 1 in 128, as well as the Rune Full Helm being only 1 in 64. Very similar, obviously, to the Aberrant Spectre drop table. All of the black plate legs and the battle stabs, which are unnoted, 1 in 25 for those. Those were all picked up, as well as the Mithril Battle Axes. And there is a weird drop of just one singular Addy ore. Price of that is 954 GP. You know, these average drops that most people, I would imagine, just don't pick up because they're not worth that much. But if you kill 3,000 of anything and you pick up every single thing from them, they really do stack up nicely, and the drops really look nice in the bank. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of the loot from 3,000 of these Spectres, as well as all of the clue scrolls and the potential master clues that we can get from those. What you're seeing on screen here is a prime example of one of the best safe spotting methods for this monster. As you can see with marking the tiles here, a very efficient thing to do on RuneLite, or very helpful thing I should say. This is kind of just a really easy way to line up your safe spots, kind of left to right. You lure them from their area south and just go a little bit north, and this way you very much minimize the amount of supplies used. You almost don't use supplies at this point, other than of course your ammunition. So what a great way to kill such a beneficial monster that has such a great drop table for Iron Man accounts and Ultimate Iron Man. You know, many different accounts. Even if you're a main, you can sell these seeds along with all of the clue scrolls that you can get as well. So things are a little different this time with the price check. We're actually going to go ahead and open up all of the clue scroll caskets first. Wiggy will go ahead and do that. Of course, we'll see if we get any masters. The RuneLite loot value, of course, was shown all throughout this video in the bank tab, and I know that some people think that's kind of just spoiling the video, but overall, I think a big part of these specific monsters is really just these clue scroll caskets here. Obviously, you know, we do see a rough estimate from what's in the bank here, but there's also a couple other items that were in a few different tabs, which is why there'll be another individual price check after the clue openings here, and everything will be added up, and any supplies that will have been used will be subtracted directly from that, and we'll know just how much profit you can make at these Deviant Spectres. A monster that not a whole lot of people talk about, and maybe a monster that some people may not even know about. 2 master clue scrolls were seen during the opening of all these hards. Unfortunately, Follow the Bard gave some pretty difficult steps, and they were unable to be complete. One downside of being an Iron Man account, you know, you can't access the Grand Exchange. But nevertheless, we are going to go ahead and price check all of the Deviant Spectre loot first individually before we get into the clue scroll loot. So let's go ahead and do that. You're looking at just about 69 Rune Full Helms, over 140 battle staves, decent amount of gems. You know, that really does show that a gem bag is worth bringing, as well as some seeds, you know, almost 2,000 limper roots. I know most people don't plant those anymore, but that is certainly a big amount just from this monster. That price check there being 3.9 mil rounded up, and now we move on to the second price check, this being all the herbs. You're looking at over 258 Renars, 300 Harlanders, 154 Aventos, 68 Lantidimes, and 28 Rune Chain Bodies. Those 4 Black Mystic Row Bottoms are a 1 in 512 drop. I wasn't too lucky on getting more of those, but overall, you combine those 2 price checks and you get just about 8.9 mil from 3,000 Deviant Spectres. Just look at that amazing RuneLite tab. 4 Dark Totems, 13 Ancient Shards, and 33 Hard Clue Scrolls. Such a clean looking loot tracker. Now it's time to price check all these Hard Clue caskets. 2.1 mil from the very first one. A decent amount of Purple Sweets and Alkables. The second one, this is all the God items. Just about another 1 mil from that. Underestimating down to 3.1 million from this 3.5 that is shown here. So overall, 8.9 mil in normal drops plus 3.1 mil in clue scrolls means you're looking at just about 12 mil from 3,000 Deviant Spectres. Luckily, no potions were used in the making of this video for the most part. Once the safe spotting technique was mastered, no food was used either. Just 7,095 rune arrows, which really is not that much at all. As most of us know, rune arrows are certainly not ever going to be as much as they used to be. All about those amethyst arrows now. But yeah, overall, I mean, that's about it for the supply costs. Wiggy enjoying flexing his amazing range tab here. My gosh, I wish my Iron Man had this stuff. But yeah, overall, if you do price check the rune arrows that were used, just to be, you know, specific with this, it's only going to cost you 354k because they're only 50 GP each. Quite the bargain on that. The old school RuneScape wiki does say that the average kill at Deviant Spectre is worth just about 2.3k, but if you are on a Konar Slayer task, that does go up to 3.7k. With a combat level of 169 and HP all the way up to 100 190 is definitely not the most popular Slayer monster to be assigned by the 5 different Slayer masters that can assign it, but nevertheless, it is always cool to explore the loot table of these monsters, big or small. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed today's video. We will see you in another 24 hours with a brand new one, continuing the 10-day marathon, and I will see you guys then. Until next time, Mr. No Sleep, out.